Hello! Welcome back to Engelbard and another episode of Utterly Pointless Comparisons. Today we'll be taking a look at the classic arcade shooter from Konami, Salamander. The versions we'll be comparing are the arcade original and the version released for the PC Engine much later. Those of us in the West may better know the PC Engine as the TurboGrafx 16. Those of us in the West may also better know Salamander as Light Force. Salamander is Konami's follow-up to Gradius, but it changes the formula up quite a bit. Some of the changes include 2-player simultaneous play, both horizontally and vertically scrolling levels, and it also includes an instant power-up system instead of the token collection and activation system used by Gradius. Just a few quick notes on the arcade hardware. It runs on a Motorola 68000 CPU, which is 16-bit of course, and it features 3 distinct sound chips. The venerable YM2151 that we have seen in many other games. It also features a PCM chip for enhanced sound effects, and then it features a Sanyo VLM5034 digitized speech. This is up against the PC Engine, which includes an 8-bit QC6820 CPU. This is essentially a variant of the 6502, but more powerful. The PC Engine also has 2 16-bit graphics chips that are custom, and it includes a 6-channel programmable sound generator that is more advanced than what had appeared in earlier 8-bit systems. A quick note on the graphic differences between the two games. Arcade Salamander features 2 layers of parallax scrolling. PC Engine version features only 1 layer of scrolling. Star fields are a little deeper in the arcade version as well. Arcade Salamander has a more muted color palette, while the colors are a little more contrasty and pop better on the PC Engine. So I think that one actually has the superior look, at least, as far as colors go. Now, the arcade one shows way more sprites on screen at one time than the PC Engine version, and PC Engine Salamander also uses a trick that was most common in the 8-bit days, where it will take some of the sprites on screen and just basically make them blink, draw them every other frame, so you could get more on screen at one time with less slowdown and flicker. When it comes to sound, this is one case where I think the arcade version is clearly superior overall to the home port, at least the one we're looking at today. In this case, the music is fairly comparable between the two versions. Some may prefer the PC Engine renditions of some of the tunes, but I think overall the arcade ones are better, and there's 1 or 2 that I prefer on the PC Engine. They do suffer a bit from Konami's sort of early struggles with FM sound units that are present in most of their early arcade games, I would say. Sound effects are clearly better on the arcade game, and they don't really have much oomph in the PC Engine version. And then for voices, I would have to give it to the arcade game, considering it's got loads of voices, and the PC Engine version has none. So yeah, clear victor there. In terms of gameplay, they are both pretty similar, and you can basically play with the same style and techniques you use in the arcade one in the PC Engine version, so that's nice. The arcade one does suffer a bit more slowdown, while the PC Engine version still has some slowdown and more flicker. The biggest difference between the two of these when it comes to gameplay is what happens when you die. In the arcade game, once you die, you come back immediately where you were, and the action continues. The PC Engine version implements a checkpoint system, which makes it a little bit harder to progress, especially if you're new to the game. Now, despite this, the PC Engine version is still easier than the arcade game, which is insanely difficult. I mean, just watch the video and check out the last couple of levels and you'll see exactly what I'm referring to. And a quick note on recording methodology. For Arcade Salamander, I just played it straight through and recorded it. For the PC Engine version, since it uses that stupid checkpoint system, I had to do save states at the start of each level to ensure I would be able to play each level without losing life, so we could have a fairly synced up comparison. Without further ado, enjoy the playthroughs.
Destroy them all. Missile chamber is empty. Pick it up for multiple. Pick it multiple. Missile. Pick it up for force field. Pick it up for force field. Missile laser. up for speed up. Speed up. force field. Missile. Speed up. Multiple. Multiple. Missile.
And there you have it, a complete playthrough of both the arcade and PC Engine versions of Salamander. Now, a few bonus comparison notes for those of you who are stuck around to the end here. The first one is a pretty interesting difference. If you look at levels 4 and 6 in both versions of the game, these are the final two overhead levels, in the arcade one, when you fire, your missiles don't only shoot out of the sides of the ship, they also shoot under the ship, and can blow up things that are below you, that are underneath you on the ground, in the background layer. The PC Engine version does not have the missiles that shoot downward, only the ones that shoot side to side. So it changes up the way things play a little bit, particularly in Stage 4. Another big difference is the way that you defeat the final boss in this game. As you saw in Arcade Salamander, you have to shoot out sort of these mounting brackets that hold it up against the wall, and then it falls and crashes into the background below. In the PC Engine version, you have to shoot it in the eye in true Gradius fashion until it explodes. And while you're doing that, it shoots lightning down at you that you have to avoid. And that lightning, if it hits your options, or multiples as they're referred to in this game, destroys them. Another quick note that is not particularly about this comparison directly, but is about Salamander itself, is there were multiple arcade revisions of Salamander. So the one you saw here was the original. That's what I played for this episode. There's another revision where they slightly changed up some of the background graphics and songs used in one or two of the levels. And then there is a full-on basic reskinning of the game, where the backgrounds are changed in just about every level, and the power-up system is changed from the instant power-ups of this version of the game to the Gradius power-up system where you collect tokens and then activate items. Which is interesting, because if you're good enough, you can activate multiple shields and have them surround your ship, basically. One other quick thing I'll mention is that there were multiple unused musical tracks in the arcade release. You can find these in things like the PSP version of the Salamander Deluxe Pack. Some of these were cycled into later revisions of the game, and some of them remained unused for all time. With that, another episode of Utterly Pointless Comparisons draws to a close. If you enjoyed it, feel free to like, subscribe, ring the bell, or donate to me on Patreon at patreon.com/Engelbard. Or don't, whatever, it's cool, I'll still like you. So I will say thank you for watching, and see you later!